All right, let's jump right in. All right, let's jump right into this. Today we'll be kicking off my finishing series with what I believe to be the easiest finish you can apply. And it's actually two finishes designed to work together. We have Walrus oil cutting board oil, which is primarily mineral oil, and then we have wood wax, which is primarily beeswax. Because it's a food safe finish, it's good for cutting boards, serving trays, charcuterie boards, wooden utensils, bowls, anything like that. It's not great for countertops or tables, anything that gets high use, and it's also not great for outdoor projects. Quick pros, it's super easy to apply, it enhances the natural look and feel of the wood, and it is food safe. Quick cons, it does have limited protection, so you will have to do reapplications over time. It also can leave a greasy feel on some wood types because it's a petroleum-based finish instead of a plant-based finish, meaning that it's non-drying, it stays a liquid in the wood. So the oil penetrates into the wood to condition it, and the wax creates a protective layer. For this project, I actually took the sink cutout to my butcher block countertops and made 4 cutting boards out of it. I chamfered the edges and then burned my initials into the back. After I'm done, I'll put some of these rubber feet on it. For materials, we'll simply need the product, some gloves, and some cloths. You can apply this with a lint-free cloth, however, I just like to use my hands. To prepare your surface, you'll want to bring it to a 220 grit, which is what I have mine at. I started at 120, then I went to 180, and then I went to 220. After sanding, you'll want to take a cloth and make sure that all of the dust is removed. And then you're ready. To apply the oil, simply pour a generous amount on the surface, and then I'll just take my hands and rub it right into the wood. You can also use 320 grit sandpaper to apply this. However, I prefer still to just use my hands. One mistake that I made here is I should have actually started with this upside down so I could just flip it once onto my bench cookies instead of having to flip it back upright after I was done. So I just want to make sure that the entire surface is saturated from top to bottom, and then I'll set it on the cookies here for between 12 and 24 hours. After about half an hour or so, I came back and wiped off any excess pooled oil on the surface. And it's as easy as that. Okay, it's been about 24 hours. This is pretty dry. I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat. We're just gonna rinse and repeat the same steps as before. This probably could be considered done. I could probably move on to the wax by now, but I do wanna add a second coat just for personal preference. The second coat is similar to the first, although I'll put it on a little thinner. And if there's any dry spots remaining, I'll continue to add further coats as I go. However, usually 2 coats is fine. I do think Walrus Oil recommends doing 3 to 5 coats for the best finish. However, I don't have that patience, so I'm just going to do 2. After I'm done with this, I will wait another 24 hours before applying the wax. Okay, it's been another 24 hours. Let's finish this up by applying the wax. We're just doing a basic wax on, wax off here. I'm just working the wax around all areas of the surface. After I'm finished, I'll let it dry for about 15 minutes or so, or until it forms a haze on the surface. The one thing I noted was I need to get different bench cookies because these ones kept digging small scratches into the wood. Luckily, it didn't turn out all that bad and it wasn't all that noticeable, but those little things always seem to get me. Once the wax is hardened, I'm just going to use a clean cloth to buff the surface and utilize my basic wax off method to remove the haze and leave a shiny, smooth finish. You'll need to reapply these products whenever the wood starts to look or feel dry, and you should never wash these in the dishwasher. Just use soap and water on them to clean. And there you have it for the wax. It really looks and feels great. So that's all there is to it. I hope this helps get you started with the finish. If you can find it in your heart to like and subscribe, it really helps support a small channel like mine. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you would like to request a finish for me to do in my series, and I'll give it a shot. Thanks for watching. Be good to yourselves, kind to each other, stay curious, and never stop learning. I hope to see you all in the next video in the series.